Hey guys, Chris here with Project Nerf, and today we're going to review a brand new product from Jet Blasters, the ZRO. Let's take a look. Alright, the ZRO from Jet Blasters, ZRO, is a thread-on scar barrel, basically. It has rifling on the inside. I'm not certain if you guys can see that. And its purpose is to improve accuracy of your darts. So, very well constructed. Let me reach over here and grab my long shot real quick. And lots of people have been asking, what are them threads for? Well, here you go. You take your ZRO out of the box and simply screw it on. And there you have it. This does fit the Omni and the Alpha barrel. And today we're going to test it out. We're going to check it first with the Omni with full-length darts and see if we get any improvement in accuracy, what kind of reduction in FPS we're going to be looking at. Generally, these type of scar barrels bring your FPS down a ways, so we're going to measure that with a chronograph. And then we're going to switch out to the Alpha head and give it a go with Steffens as well. I'll get right back to you. Alright, guys, first let me apologize. Wanted to do this test outside. It's been raining here for 5 days straight, and there's about 6 inches of water standing in my backyard. So we're going to have to do it inside. Now you can see I've got Lieutenant Dan set up down the hallway there. And just for future reference, Lieutenant Dan's torso is only 15 inches wide. Okay, we're going to be doing this at a range of 25 feet, which is as much room as I have inside the house here, sadly. And we're going to start with standard elite darts with the Omni kit. Let's get to it. Nothing. Nothing. Nope. That was a ricochet. Nope. I'm going to hit that one. That was a hit. Way not. Alright guys, that was a set of 12 standard elite darts without the ZRO, just the bare Omni kit. We scored 1, possibly 2. So let's get our ZRO on here, get loaded back up, and see if we see any improvement in accuracy. Okay, as you can see, we've installed our ZRO barrel, we're reloaded, and we're going to give this a go. Maybe. That was definitely a hit. Hit. Maybe. Alrighty. Hit. Hit. Alright guys, that was 4 or 5 hits, but I think you should have been able to see several of the darts just barely trickled out. Like I said, the scar barrels are very, very tight. Again, these are stock elite darts. So what we're going to do is go ahead and put this thing on the chrono and see what kind of difference we're getting, because I'm thinking it's pretty significant. Okay, chrono, Omni kit. This is a 10K turf spring for anybody that hasn't seen my previous videos on it. So we're going to chrono the Omni with this 10K spring. no zero barrel. A little misread there. Another one. Alright guys, we had a couple of very odd misreads that are going to throw this, but the lowest number I saw come out of it was in the 130s. Here we had a 170. So I've chronoed this blaster a couple of times, always chronos out on a set between 150 and 160. So I'm pretty pleased that we're hitting close to that. Let's see what it does with the Zero. Alright, we've got our Zero on here. I would not expect a real high chrono set from this, guys. It really looked like it was beating him up in the hall. Yeah, 47, 33, 99, didn't come out at all. See, it's stuck right there in the end. There we go, 107, 127. We can get that. We had two of them in the 120s. I'm sorry, I'm blocking the light here. 127, low. Yeah. Average 84. That's probably a little bit askew, guys, but I'd like to point out that we had two of them come out under 50, a couple of them around 50. At least one stuck into zero barrel, and these are stock Elite darts. They're in pretty good shape. So, yeah, you can take that for what it's worth. We're going to switch out to the Alpha with the short darts and see if we get any difference. Okay, guys, I've spared you the agony of taking the screws out here. And what you're looking at here is not really dissimilar from the insides of a stock long shot. All of this is basically the same thing. It's just upgraded. And, you know, these parts, okay, all of this, the bolt sled, all of this is the Alpha kit. Okay, and I've got to stress that again. The Alpha kit is a drop-in set of internals. It comes with everything but the main spring. Okay, which you can pick whichever one you want, a 16K or like this blaster has a 10K turf spring in it. The Omni kit is not a drop-in. You must have the Alpha kit to use the Omni. Okay, and the Omni kit includes this red barrel. Okay, this red pusher head that accommodates full-length darts. A custom-tuned 14 kg spring. That's their words, not mine. I personally think that's overrated. And then for the back here, see if I can get it spun around, it does come with an aluminum tail cap for the plunger tube. Hopefully you can see that there, versus the plastic one that the Alpha kit comes with. Okay. Now, in this case, the Omni barrel is just a few thousandths larger. It's a little more slack, so we're going to get probably a little less dart drag on the Omni barrel. So we're going to leave it. We're going to leave the aluminum tail cap. So the only thing we're going to change is the Omni head. Okay, back to our Alpha head, so we have our full seal, and that we're optimized for full-length darts. So what we're going to do is start by pulling the apparatus out. Now you saw how I did that. I simply lifted the plunger tube out. The bolt sled and plunger come as an assembly. Okay, here's a pin right there. We're going to pop that pin out and then just change out these heads real quick. Sometimes these can be a little bit tight. If you have a really fine little screwdriver, it's often helpful just to get that pin started well. Here we go. Pins out. That removes the bolt sled. So we have this apparatus, and all we're going to do is unscrew this. So take a good grip, be very careful not to damage it. You don't want to grab it up here, and then unthread it. Okay, hopefully you can see there the difference in the two heads. The Omni is cut way back to accommodate a full-length dart, but unlike the Alpha, see, which has this O-ring on it, which when it slides into the breech, locks out and makes a full airtight seal. If you haven't seen that for yourself or haven't tested it, definitely take a look at my Alpha Kit review. I did like a full 10-second trigger hold, and it did not let one bit of air escape. The Omni does not have that advantage. They had to give up the full seal in order to shoot full-length darts. So in this case, we're simply going to screw the Alpha head on where the Omni was. And please note I do have a little bit of Teflon tape or plumber's tape in there, just to help make sure no air leaks around the threads. Okay. And now that that's nice and tight, we're going to slide it up in to the bolt sled and put the pin back in. And there we have that. That assembly is now complete. Okay, before I put this back together, I've got a little bit of a white lithium grease here, and we're going to put some of that in the rails for the bolt sled, just to help everything slide a little bit smoother. I'll use my little screwdriver here and trowel some of that down in there. There we go. Meant to do this when I put the blaster together initially. Bad, Chris, didn't do it. Okay, and we don't need a whole lot. That's plenty, and then some. We'll also do the same thing to the other side of the shell before we close it up. Okay, in this case, we're going to drop the bolt sled. There's a rail right there that drops into that slot. See here? So we're going to drop that in there. Line everything up. Push it forward. Okay, and then we're going to have to wrestle the plunger tube in there a bit. There we go. That's set up nice. Now, this is for the prime indicator. I did not leave it in this blaster. I don't want it, so we're not going to bother putting that back in. So we're going to go ahead and grease up the other side of the shell and bolt this thing back up. Okay, we've got our Alpha head put back in here. Everything's set back up. I've got a worker PMAG, going to feed worker Steffens. Warning, this PMAG isn't very good. I frequently have feeding issues with it, so I'm going to fire as many as it will feed, count the hits, and then we'll put the zero on and do it one more time. Yeah. I think that was a little high. That was right on the money. Hit it. Here's my mag acting up. Alright, double feed. I'm not sure how many that was, guys. I think we only missed with about 2 of those, and that's even without the zero barrel. So I'm going to get this PMAG loaded back up, get the zero on, and we'll do it one more time. Okay guys, we've got the zero barrel back on, and Don't know how we're going to get a lot more accurate. Again, we're only 25 feet. These are Stefan darts. You should pretty much hit that size target almost every time with Stefan darts from this range anyway. But hey, maybe we'll get lucky and just hit it with all of them. Let's go. Hit. Hit. That one might have been high. Okay, guys, we obviously had a couple of issues again with my mag feeding. I know I saw a couple of them double load. It really did feel a little more accurate. Hopefully the camera picked them up. I actually center punched that 50 right there in the center target quite a few times. So let's get it on the chrono, see what kind of reduction we're seeing with Stefan darts. Alright, guys. Sorry I couldn't get you a video of the chrono with the Stefan darts. My chronograph is kind of old and beat up, and frequently on the really small targets like that, it gives really grossly inaccurate readings. I had several of them come out of there at 1200 FPS, so apparently my long shot shoots as hard as a 357 Magnum. No, it's just an inaccuracy in the chrono. It's a cheaper one. We're hoping to upgrade, but that blaster chronoed fine in daylight, averaged 175, and we were not seeing quite the hit, the reduction in drag on the short darts that we did on the elite darts. Obviously, less surface area for it to drag as it goes to the barrel. So overall opinions, as with everything that Jet Blasters sells, it was beautifully packaged. It came wrapped up nicely inside this very solid little cardboard tube with ZRO logoing. It does thread on and thread off quite easily. It's clean, it's attractive, it's looks like it's cast, it's not 3D printed. So it's a very nice piece. And so does it do its job? Well, we did see an increase in accuracy with the elite darts, but a big reduction in velocity. With Stefan darts, we probably had the same amount of hits, maybe a couple of more. But at that 25-foot range, really hard to tell there. But they felt like they were hitting a little closer to the center line of the target instead of getting a little bit wild. So I would say that their accuracy claim is correct. And disclaimer, guys, I know for a fact that the blaster that we're using for this is not optimized to really test this product. Says right on their website, it's really designed for blasters that shoot over 200 FPS. So we'd have to go up on our spring load here, probably to a Turf 12 or 14K to get that kind of power out of the alpha. And secondly, I know from watching their product videos that they use almost exclusively FVJs, or Vowberries, as you may know them in the States. So those are the vinyl-tipped or harder plastic-tipped darts, and they're heavier. And they tend to be a lot more accurate anyway. They also tend to hurt very badly, and I know a lot of local clubs, including our own, does not allow them because of that. So testing this as well as we could with what we had, I'm going to have to say that the product is really good. I like it. Like I said, it's attractive. It works pretty well. The question is, do you want to trade that velocity for the extra accuracy? Well, if you shoot 180 feet a second, but don't hit anything, is it better to shoot 100 feet a second and hit the target that you aim at? I would have to say absolutely yeah. For me, it will be the Alpha Breach system with the short darts and this product, which performed quite well. So, another nice product from Jet Blasters, guys. Check them out. And until next time, this is Chris for Project Nerf saying, have a blast.